Hi there, it's Antoinette Fennell, your literary coach and agent. And just in case my latest Periscope doesn't make it live, as I'm having trouble getting it there, I wanted to pass on 3 reasons why writers should be reading. Now, a lot of the tips that I give, just to let you know, might seem very basic if you've been writing for a while. But I'll tell you what, the writers that I deal with, whether they are newbies or very experienced, often run into the same hurdles. And so sometimes we just need reminding of some very basic stuff when we hit up against something and we haven't figured out what exactly is going on. So let me help you out with these 3 tips. It's not to say that you're not reading already, I'm sure you are, but being very aware when you're reading can be a brilliant thing. Now, my first reason why writers should be reading is because reading other people's books lets you see what works and what does not work. So whilst it's subjective, obviously, you can read a book and think it's a dud, and then it's getting accolades all over the world. That happens a lot with me. I'm not generally a fan of literary fiction. I really like commercial fiction. But that being said, it allows you to find out what hits the right spots in you as a reader. And so when you are a writer, you can pass those things on to your readers. So it's a brilliant thing to, as I said, read with an awareness, not necessarily critiquing. It's always beautiful to get pulled into a story and barely be able to remember what you do for a living or for passion, but just to follow the story along. But to be perfectly honest, if you read a book and get pulled in, it would be brilliant to reread it with open eyes so that you can see exactly what the author did at what point to draw you in as a reader and use that for your own stories. My second reason that writers should be reading is that you can actually pick up, it kind of follows on with that last thing, you can pick up some beautiful skills from genres that you think you have no interest in. And for example, one of my favorite clients and colleagues really picked up a lot from reading romance and cozies. And those are not genres that she writes in, and I don't think she'd ever be keen to really write something that was right in that genre. But she confessed that it actually helped her in creating really real relationships and dialogue between her characters. And so it enriched her own work. And that's the truth is that in romance, that's the whole point, the interaction and the love. And so if you are looking to inject something or increase your skill, then go out and read books in those genres. Probably you won't get pulled in, and that would help you even more because you could see exactly what the author was doing to get their readers to understand that these two characters had fire, whether it's positive or negative. You could also pick up tips on pace, which is something that I see a lot of new writers struggle with, especially in that sagging middle, is keeping up the pace. And how do the really, really big sellers keep up pace? They may have books that you say, oh, that's pulp fiction, that's not very good. And that's okay. You don't have to love their books. But I will tell you one thing, they know how to keep pace. And if you follow their sort of formula for it, you can put your voice, your story into the world and keep a whole slew of readers interested in what you've got to say by keeping that pace. It can only enrich your work, I'm telling you. The last reason that I think that writers should still be readers is that they can get inspiration. And to be honest, especially if you connect with a story, I have a lot of authors that do this. I wouldn't call it fan mail, but what a beautiful thing to become a friend of someone whose work you admired. So go out and read other work that's being published. Some of the work you might read although this is another scope that I'm doing on comparisonitis. I wouldn't recommend reading something in your genre while you are writing. That's my own personal suggestion. But if you do read something by someone else in your genre when you are not actively writing a manuscript, reach out to them and tell them how much you enjoyed what they wrote. Because I'll tell you what, writers are real people and they love to know that their work connected with someone. And what a huge compliment. And I guarantee that if you put your, or when you put your work out into the world, you would love to have somebody come and tell you how much it meant to them to read your works. So that's it, my 3 reasons why writers should be readers. Maybe it'll make it onto Periscope. Maybe it'll just be a video here on YouTube. But I am Anjanette Fennell. My website, you can check it out at anjanettefennell.com. It's a big long name, so it will be typed below. But you can catch me there. You can catch me on Twitter at AngeFenn or on Periscope at AngeFenn. And, you know, if you do a little searching, you can find me on Facebook as well. I look forward to bringing more tips soon. Don't forget, you can always send me messages with your questions, and I would be happy to answer them in future scopes or videos. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.